you very much. First of all, I'd like to thank Jetique Events for this absolutely amazing venue, this amazing opportunity to come out here and showcase to you exactly, number one, what natural hair education really is, and number two, more specifically, what Fine Natural Hair Rocks is as a brand. Today is our very first live in-person talk. I'm largely a social media brand, so it really brings me great pleasure today to be in front of you. So, my first question to you guys today is, how many of you in this room has natural hair by a show of hands? Okay. And how many of you have fine natural hair by a show of hands? How many of you even know what fine natural hair is by a show of hands? Okay, so we're getting a few less hands, and that's to be expected. So, fine natural hair is, by its very nature, by its very definition, it is a fragile subset of natural hair. So what that means is the natural hair movement has really been soaring, absolutely soaring from about 2008, 2009, up until 10 years later, 2019. And so, what we're noticing is that a lot of the information that's out there, that's circulating on the internet, circulating in a few different publications, as well as circulating just in general amongst our friends and our family, is how to take care of a more stronger type of natural hair. So what you might find yourself doing is following this advice and saying, hey, how come it's not working for me? How come my hair isn't growing? How come my hair isn't flourishing? How come my hair doesn't look like her hair on, the internet? And so that got me to thinking, because I am one of those people. I am one of those people who do have that subset of natural hair that is just, by its very nature, very fragile. And so, for people who have fine natural hair, these are those individuals who are actually lacking an entire protective layer. So most people, our Caucasian counterparts included, will have three protective layers that protect their strands and allow their strands to really grow. For fine naturals, you only have two. So what does that bring us to? I want to share with you 3 ways in which you can really improve your natural hair, be it fine natural hair or be it natural hair. Number one of the things that you could do is you can determine what is your hair porosity level. So this is simply, how well does your hair retain moisture? Do you spray products on your hair and it just sits on top? Or do you put products on your hair and it goes through your hair automatically? So for people who have low porosity hair, that's the type of hair that, it really repels moisture. And for those who have high porosity hair, their hair takes in moisture. And so determining which one it is that your hair actually does is really important to determining, okay, well, how do I grow my hair? How do I achieve the things that I want from my hair? Be it thicker or longer or whatever it is that your goals are. What is it that, your goals are? Number 2, something that you could do to really, so let me back up. So back to this hair porosity thing. How do I determine what my hair porosity is? Because that sounds quite scientific, right? Well, it's very simple. You can take a glass of water and literally take one strand, preferably a clean strand, drop it in the top of the water, and if it sinks to the bottom of the glass, then you know that you have high porosity hair because it's taking in all that moisture really, really quickly. Now, if your strand of hair stays at the top of the water, then you know you have low porosity hair because it's repelling that moisture. So I could go on for hours on what this means for your particular hair care and for your particular techniques, but we don't have that time today. So moving on to the second part of what you can do to improve your natural hair, whether it's fine natural or natural, you can simply incorporate more regular deep condition treatments. So a deep condition treatment is when you apply a conditioner to your hair that is at its very core purpose to penetrate your strands and to be used with heat. And usually you'll know it's a deep conditioner because it's going to sit on your hair between 5 to 10 minutes. You use heat or you use a heat cap, whatever the case may be. It is a little bit more penetrating and more stronger than a regular conditioner. The third thing that you can do, now that you know what your hair porosity levels are, is to determine what is your most useful, productive way of imparting moisture into your natural strands. Because ultimately, if you want to achieve healthy natural hair, you will have to figure out, how do I get the moisture into my strands? And so, if you remember anything from this talk today, it would be that determining what your porosity levels are is incredibly important. So, if you're able to, remember that piece and then take that piece home and say, okay, well, I'm gonna try out this water test that Lavinia girl from Fine Natural Hair Rocks was talking about. I'm gonna try this out. Now that you know that you're, say for example, a low porosity natural, you might want to spray your strands with water first, perhaps apply a cream or a conditioner or a moisturizer to your strands second, and then seal all of that lovely nutrients and that goodness with an oil. Now, if you're a high porosity natural, your techniques kind of change a little. So what you would want to do in that circumstance is apply your water and then perhaps apply your oil to prevent the water from coming out of your strands, and then apply your cream or your moisturizer or whatever it is, your styler of choice. So those are my 3 really quick tips on how you can really improve and turn around your natural hair today. For those of you who have questions, I'm always here and happy to answer questions. And if you don't want to put your question out there for everybody to hear, you can definitely grab me, and I'm happy to chat with each and every one of you at any moment. I also have some cards here for my Instagram page. It's Fine Natural Hair Rocks. A little bit about Fine Natural Hair Rocks Instagram. We do live sessions every Tuesdays and Wednesdays where we talk with the group. There's about I want to say maybe 1,300 of us at this point, where we discuss various issues and topics related to our natural hair. Some as simple as how to impart moisture, or other ones a little bit more deep-rooted, like how do I be more confident with my natural hair? How do I go to an interview with my natural hair? Or how do I go to the club with my natural hair? We talk about everything. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your attention. And I'm so honored to be here in front of you today. Have a good one.
Any question? That was amazing. I actually learned something today. I know my hair type very well. I've been studying my hair to the point where now, I just do it just naturally. But with the water thing, I never thought of that. I had to experiment whether oil, liquid oil, cream or cream, I had to experiment to figure out which one works for me. So at least with this technique, you don't have to go through all that experimenting, right? So it's a simpler one. Any question?
I have a question. Sorry, it's not a question. Actually, someone left their car door wide open. It's a Mercedes-Benz vehicle, CH 525. If that's your vehicle, your door is wide open. It's a black car. It's parked in a handicap parking.
Somebody said they had a question? Marva?
Yeah.
Okay. We're waiting. Anyone else?
What do you use to protect your hair at night?
Oh, this is a lovely question. Thank you, Marva. Marva asks, what do you use to protect your hair at night? So you 100% want to seal in all that moisture after you've spent all that time putting it in. And I always protect my hair, my husband's hair, you can ask him, with a satin bonnet. And my favorite satin bonnet is from Marva's Afrotique Designs. And yeah, either you protect your hair with that satin bonnet or you sleep on a satin pillowcase, but as long as it's satin, you're generally in good territory. Thank you.
I like that you said that. Even for myself, I use the satin bonnet, and this curl is about four days old, because as soon as I go home, I put my satin bonnet on. So it makes my hair easier to manage. So every day I don't have to get up and redo my hair, recurling my hair, because my hair is about hair. But I have shrinkage hair, so I do like those twists. But once it's old, then it gets frizzy. So the satin bonnet helps maintain the curl, so I don't have to comb my hair every day or every night, because mostly at night is when we do the twist and curls and stuff like that. And when we're tired, we don't want to do that every night. So it helps to maintain the curls. So I love that about the satin bonnets. All right. Thank you very much. Can we get a round of applause for her? That was good information.